Welcome back. The fall fair season is getting ready to kick off after a year-long hiatus due to the pandemic. Many people, many vendors are anxious to get out once again, but COVID cases are up, of course, and concerns over the Delta variant are there as well. So what will the fair experience look like this year? Joe DeLorenzo is joining us this morning. He's with the Association of Connecticut Fairs to give us a clearer picture. You're also affiliated, of course, with the North Haven Fair, Joe. So tell me, when people are excited for whatever fair is their local fair, what can they expect to see this year?
For the most part, we're hoping that fairgoers have the same experience as they have in previous years. The rides, the fair food, the entertainment, the exhibits. The different fair teams have been working really hard over the last year to make sure that they put on the same show that they always do.
So if someone's heading out there and they're saying, geez, I've been seeing these headlines, the Delta variant cases being up, what do you have to say to reassure them that this is going to be a safe experience for them and their family?
So I think the big thing to remember is that all of us at all the fairs are all volunteers, and we want the events to succeed just as much as the public does. And we, as the association, as well as the individual fairs, have been working with state and local government, with the Department of Public Health on guidelines for COVID safety. It's really not cookie cutter. Every event is going to be a little bit different, but every event is doing everything that they can, to put policies in place to make sure that their events are safe.
Now, I know you're here on behalf of the whole organization, but you're affiliated yourself with the North Haven Fair. I looked that up. Since 1942, that fair has been running, but then 2020, you had to scrap it because of COVID. Take me back a year. What was that decision like to have to do that? What went into that process of saying, you know what, we just can't do it this year?
For many of us, it was probably the hardest decision we've ever made in our entire lives, but it was also the easiest decision because at that point, we wanted to take care of our vendors, our community, our exhibitors, our fairgoers, and it wasn't safe to run the event at that point.
And I know there's a lot that goes into it. Your fair running the weekend after Labor Day every year, and you don't decide at the end of August, all right, let's throw a fair together. I mean, I think you have 20 volunteers that work on this year round. So when you have to pull the plug last year and then this year ramping up for it, what is the experience? How does it differ, those two experiences?
I mean, it almost didn't, because as soon as one fair ends, and I speak for all of the fairs, as soon as one fair ends, we're already working on the next one for the next year. So I almost think in many cases this year's fair is going to be that much better because we've had 2 years to put into it.
That's spoken like a true marketing expert right there, Joe. I like that. So for all these fairs that are hoping that people will come out, should they be thinking about masks? Should they be thinking about social distancing, thinking about vaccines? What can people expect when they actually get to the gates?
It really depends on the individual fair, and my recommendation for that would be what we've been telling fairgoers since the beginning of the season. Keep checking our website, ctagfairs.org. Keep checking the individual fairs websites because sometimes it changes day to day, and whatever the guidelines for the local area are for that fair is what the fair is going to follow. But that may not be the same today as it is tomorrow. So.
There's probably somebody watching this morning, Joe, who's never been to one of these fairs. Either they're new to Connecticut or they've just never gotten in the car and gone. I know when you put out the statement back in June that the North Haven Fair would be coming back, one of the things that I loved about that statement was just saying you're excited to see the kids performing and to see the vendors and to see all the people, like an annual reunion getting together there in North Haven. For someone who's never been, whether it's your fair or another one, can you tell us a little bit about what makes these fairs special and why maybe just the average viewer should be glad that they're back?
Absolutely. In many cases, the agricultural fairs spotlight, things from the past. We have many animal exhibits. We have many exhibits of, how we have a team that comes to North Haven that shows how they do woodworking and blacksmithing and all of those different things. And it's great because you see a different time of life, a different speed. Everything was slower. But we also try to bring in many different things. I mean, one of the things that I know the kids love that comes to many of the fairs is pig racing, and that's not something that you see every day. We've got many different types of entertainment across the board. There's somebody who does wood carving with a chainsaw. There's lumberjacks. There's demolition derbies at some of our fairs. All different kinds of entertainments. Bands, talent shows, stage shows. We've always got amusement rides and games. Something that is close to me and that is big for me is our exhibition, and the public can participate and essentially show off their hobbies and what they've done. And I mean, we've actually seen unprecedented numbers this year because of COVID. Literally anyone can enter. If you enjoy painting, display your painting. It gets judged with the others, and you win a prize, and in some cases you win money. The big thing this year is gardening. We've got a lot of vegetable exhibits coming in across all of the fairs, which I think is fantastic. And then I can't talk about fairs without talking about fair food, because if you want it, they have it, and I've eaten it.
Well, that's a pretty good tease. A lot of people on this Sunday morning are probably thinking, Joe, I want to eat it too. I was thinking this as you were just talking about all those the different things that are happening there. I'm sure as much as it is heartbreaking, say last year for North Haven to have to cancel, I bet a lot of these vendors are moving from city to city across the state. I'm sure you know them from your years working. Was it a tough year for those vendors as well? That it's not just that they lost the North Haven, they lost Hebron and they lost the other, and it just kept kind of ticking along for them?
Absolutely. For a lot of folks, this is their full-time business, and it's tough. And everybody was adapting, not just the fair organizations. Some vendors moved to selling stuff online. Some vendors moved to some of the fairs. They're still doing drive-through events where you can participate that way. It was a tough year for everybody, and we're great that things are starting to sort of get back to a normal.
Well, you did a great job plugging all the fairs. I'll plug yours, September 9th to 12th, 290 Washington Ave. You can go check out the North Haven Fair, or as you see right there behind Joe, ctagfairs.org. You can find the fair near you, and many of them are happening this year, and you can go check them out. A great time for the whole family, and a very Connecticut experience for sure. Joe DeLorenzo, we appreciate you being with us on this Sunday morning. Thanks for being with us. Coming up here on CT21, Connecticut firefighters who traveled west to help battle huge wildfires have returned home. We're talking to a pair of them about that experience and to learn more about their training. That's coming up next.